All right. Wonderful. Hi, everyone. This is Jessie. I'm reading The Art of Focus by Dan Coe. It is day 13. I'm reading 3 pages a day. We're on page 60 if you are reading along. And you can always go back and watch the others if you want to get caught up. Okay. These global cycles have the potential to control your emotions like a puppet when unconscious. But this is not the worst outcome. Having a little team spirit for your political party has its consequences, but not as many as relinquishing your role as the main character in your personal life. I could go on and on about how robotic we are as a species. We have much less self-control than we think. The unconscious mind is powerful. It's like a sponge. With every repetition, like flowing water forming the Grand Canyon, our behavior becomes more automatic. You have a sleep cycle, an ingestion cycle, a work cycle, an excretion cycle, and sex cycle, even if you don't have a partner. It's important to know that these are only a portion of the habits we have in our personal life. These personal cycles can vary per the individual, like how bodybuilders go through bulking and cutting seasons. This ripples through the other cycles in their lives. Even more, there are business cycles. You'll have high months and low months, seasons of progress and regress. Your business can gain a bit too much fat in its exponential growth. And if you don't cut down, it will cause more unconscious problems. Those problems will demand your focus, drain your energy, and give you the experience that may be ignored. The cycles of the universe can be brutal. They don't care about your feelings. As you will learn, I am of the mind that everyone is an entrepreneur as it is in our nature. A steady paycheck is a useful stepping stone, but a harsh slave master. The universal patterns of storytelling are how we construct meaning, language, and communication. Now, this is not limited to stories alone, nor is language limited to the written or spoken word. Language is the signifier of cognitive activity. Nature, sculptures, dance, paintings, games, personal style, and every other aspect of existence that we can perceive with infinite combinations of the human senses can be interpreted by the mind. A sculpture mimics the highs and lows of a story in its grooves, textures, and form. This is a beautiful insight, but it goes beyond the physical world. We have the ability to sculpt our mind, reinvent ourselves, and craft both a physical and intellectual structure that forms a mode of intangible communication with the external world. You have the ability to interpret meaning from a combination of your senses. Sculptures are stories frozen in time. Stories are sculptures melted down and molded into an entirely new song. We can walk into a cathedral and hear music in our ears even when the music isn't playing. We can taste a five-star meal and imagine ourselves in an elegant location. This is the gift of consciousness and creation. Language and meaning at their core are a combination of units of mind, which are the smallest building blocks of ideas. Ideas are a novel emergence that offer a direction in which to pave the road of expanded thought, because thought is a program that is limited by the operating system or language it operates on. We can only think as far as we know, and narrow focus prevents us from knowing more. From this insight, we can write a personal, societal, global, or cosmic story that is worth telling. Pardon, sorry. The point is to observe the patterns that are all around you and see how they reflect in your personal life. If you are stuck in a rut, that is but an impermanent state that will resolve with time and effort. Above all, your ability to zoom out to a conscious, open focused state will allow you to see these seasons for what they are, a necessary low that will lead into an inevitable and impermanent high. High at at one, not war. Struggle is a universal principle. It is silly to think that it isn't supposed to be part of your life, but that is what we do. We expect life to be a certain way when it isn't supposed to be anything other than what it's being. In this cyclical story of life, there will be conflict. It's the most interesting part of the story, in fact. That's why we love stories. A problem is introduced that piques our curiosity, becomes more problematic until the climax, and when resolved, we feel relieved after the roller coaster of emotions. From the highest perspective, resolved conflict leads to creative emergence. Stars explode every 10 seconds and create new atomic nuclei. A war between nations creates revolutionary advancements in technology. A fight with your significant other, when resolved, creates a new appreciation for their perspective. Turmoil in your own mind, when accepted, creates profound lessons that make the next round more tolerable. But we tend to focus on the technical and often ideological details of conflict rather than the big picture. We resist conflict by narrowing our minds on the conflict itself rather than letting it flow as an interesting and often necessary part of existence. We can begin to see conflict, struggle, or battles as problems within a system. If they are not solved, entropy ensues. When we zoom out, seek to understand the system, and let go of the outcome, we create room for progress. Progress feels good, incredible, in fact, but in the opposite sense of instant gratification. This brings up one of the most important topics of our time. Instead of seeing problems as they are, we see them as we think they should be. And that should be is easy. So we seek external sources of motivation to kick us into action. Or we fight with the problem, not physically, but mentally. We perform mental gymnastics, do anything but face reality. The universe acts regardless of how it feels. It doesn't need the concept of motivation. It makes mistakes, self reflects, and iterates on a solution. Feelings, push comes to shove, mean nothing when it comes to action. Still, we let them run our lives. You can write and you can write well, regardless of how you feel. You can do the dishes, walk the dog, apply for the job, start the business, leave the toxic relationship, and make holistic progress even if you don't feel like doing it. Feelings are feedback, and we should treat them as such. We live in a delusion that we want to make progress without it being hard. People will go insane over the thought of hot weather, but can go into a sauna without complaint. The difference is the expectation and intention. Okay, that's it for today. Goes by fast. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you tomorrow morning.